In this episode of MGUY, we're going to be looking at the differences between the SL55 AMG and the regular SL500. The SL55 AMG is the version of the R230 SL that has been AMGified. So they've taken the standard SL and they've worked their magic with the engine and the transmission and the suspension to turn it into this car. But what are the differences, and does it really make that much improvement over the standard SL500? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. So starting with the external appearance, there's pretty much not a lot to say about the external appearance compared to the standard SL500. The body style is the same, the panels are pretty much the same. The only differences that you can see really are the V8 compressor badging here. There's a bit of a body kit round the sides on the sills. The front lip around here is a slightly different design. But apart from that, the actual look of the car, the stance of the car on the road is pretty much the same as the SL500. In terms of the interior, it's really much the same, but that's not a bad thing. The SL500 and indeed all the SL interiors are of the highest quality. Lots of leather, lots of very high quality materials. Really is a beautiful cockpit. In terms of the differences between the SL500 and the SL55, we have this Alcantara binnacle on the instrument covers here. We also have white dials as opposed to the black dials on the standard SL, and it also has the AMG and the V8 compressor badging in the instrument cluster as well. But it's really under the bonnet where the big differences start to emerge between the SL55 and the SL500. This engine, the M113 in the SL500, is actually quite low powered for its size. It only makes about 300 horsepower and 460 Newton meters of torque, whereas in this, the SL55, it has a twin scroll supercharger mounted between the banks of cylinders, which gives it an astonishing 493, I think, horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. So that is a huge increase on the SL500. That extra power and torque actually translates quite significantly into its performance. The SL500 goes from 0 to 100 in about 6.3 seconds. The SL55 does it in about 4.7. In terms of the transmission, both the SL500 and the SL55 started out with the 5-speed automatic. The SL500 quickly transitioned to a 7-speed automatic, but because of the torque and power figures for the supercharged engine, they kept the 5-speed in the SL55 for a lot longer. Another obvious difference is down here on the exhaust. The standard SL500 had twin pipes. This has an AMG fettled quad pipe system, which really does give it a very muscle car sound, which really just adds to the enjoyment of driving this amazing car. Because of the extra power in the engine, obviously needs greater stopping power, so the brakes in the SL55 are uprated with larger discs and calipers to really ensure that you can stop this heavy beast when it's going at full tilt. In terms of options on these two cars, it was pretty much the same, although the SL55 obviously came with a few of those options as standard, in particular the multi-contour seats and the AMG body kit and some uprated wheels as well. So I guess the most important thing in a comparison like this is how does it drive on the road? So let's go and find out. So what's it like to drive? Well, with the top up, it's remarkably comfortable and relaxed. It's pretty quiet, well insulated. It feels like a coupe, really. This Vario roof is so well constructed that it It really does just feel like two cars in one, really, which is pretty amazing how Mercedes have done that. There's a few little telltale squeaks and groans of the bodywork sometimes due to a little bit of flexing. Obviously it's not as stiff as a genuine coupe, and the SL55 is way more lively than the SL500. As I've already explained, there's so much more power, so much more torque. Really makes a huge difference to the driving experience, which is great. And of course, when you put the roof down, it becomes a completely different car, which is the advantage of these great SL designs, because they really are basically two cars for the price of one. When you do have the top down, it suddenly changes character completely. You get the beautiful sound of the V8 and that fantastic exhaust. You got the wind in your hair, you got the sun. It's amazing. Great cars, the SLs, and the additional power and the noises of the SL55 really make a huge difference. It's not to say that the SL500 isn't a great car, because it is for most people. For your average punter, the SL500 is a fantastic, beautiful car. If you don't have, 98 octane running through your veins like I do, then you really wouldn't miss that extra power and torque from the engine. You may not be so obsessed with the sound, but for me, the SL55 just converts the SL body and the SL style into the perfect roadster. So I hope you've enjoyed this little comparison between the SL500 and the SL55 AMG. Certainly, having driven both the SL500 and the SL55, I'm a real fan of the SL55. I think that extra power and torque really transforms this car from a fairly sedate cruiser into something a little bit more special. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like. It'd be great to have you as a subscriber and turn on those notifications. You can follow me on Instagram at mguy.tv or Twitter at mguy_TV, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.